just got dismissed from a date. What the heck? So this really attractive guy named Ed approached me. You know, he's Jamaican, good looking guy, tall, cute. When I get over there, his back is facing me. So I'm like, hey Ed, how are you? And he ignores me, and I'm like, okay. And he looked at me with the most bitchiest look I've ever seen in my life, and he said, good night. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, y'all just saw that. When I tell you, my jaw dropped. This might be one of the most awkward first dates I've ever seen online. Talk to me nice. Talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes. I'm Sanya from the 876, so welcome. Please consider subscribing and let's be friends. So today we're diving into a situation that honestly had my jaw on the floor. This girl went on a first date, communicated that she was running late, updated the guy, and when she officially arrived, he ignored her completely. Let's unpack it, because the more I listened, the more I thought, was this about her being late or was this more about his ego? Before we dive in, I really want to hear what you think while you're watching, so drop your thoughts in the comments. Now let's roll a clip and then I'll give you my take, because this one, ooh, it is layered.
I just got dismissed from a date. You know, this doesn't feel good at all. I was a little down on myself at first, but then I thought about it. I was like, what the heck? So this really attractive guy named Ed approached me on Friday or Saturday, I don't remember. And, you know, he's Jamaican, good looking guy, tall, cute. So we were talking on the train since we were both going the same way. Conversation was a little bit weird on the train, but he was very charismatic. He made me feel comfortable, and so I agreed to exchange numbers with him. So we exchanged numbers, and he wanted me to meet him in the city, right across the street from Bryant Park, at 7 p.m. today. So we kept in touch, let him know that I was on my way, but at around like 6 o'clock, I knew I was gonna be a little late because I was driving. So I told him, I said, hey, I'm running a little bit behind, but I'm on my way to you. So
quick pause right here. We see that she's communicating, and I love that. She's not just running late and then going silent. She's keeping him updated. She's showing respect. You can tell she doesn't have that attitude of, well, I'm running late, so he just has to wait. Nah, she's considerate. She has manners. She grew right.
So I was making good timing. I actually thought I was going to make it before time, but right when I got to Midtown, the traffic was absolutely insane. So I text him and I'm like, hey, I'm on my way to you, but traffic is absolutely crazy. And I have to find parking, so I don't think I'm going to get to you till about 7:15. So he asked me if I was driving Uber, and I told him I was driving. Found a spot though, paid for it, and dashed over to that place. When I get over there, his back is facing me. So I'm like, hey Ed, how are you? And he ignores me, and I'm like, okay. I'm like,
he did not answer.
hey Ed, how are you doing? And he's eating. He's like, he takes another bite. He takes another bite now instead of saying something. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, he's probably pretty pissed.
And this is where I lose respect for him, because she communicated. She told you that she was running late. You don't get to punish somebody for traffic. You handle it with maturity. And this is what it seems like he is lacking.
And he's like, I'm like, what? He was like, I'm waiting for something. What do you think I'm waiting for? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what time are we supposed to meet? I was like, 7 o'clock. And he's like, what time is it now? I was like, oh, it's 7:23.
How dare you show up 23 minutes late? And this is where I feel like this is his ego talking, because that is not, I have standards as a man. That is, I want to be in control. Silence is punishment. Big red flag. Now let's see how this plays out. Because if it were me, I would have clutched my bag and go through the door. Because you're not going to come and disrespect me with silence. You didn't even greet her or acknowledge the fact that she made it. He was not even able to put his ego aside and to say, all right, you're here. I'm glad you're here. Let's get this date started. We can deal with the lateness aspect of it later.
And he was like, yeah, so you're not sorry that you're late? And I'm like, well, I didn't even get to that. I was, but I didn't want to start off the conversation by arguing, because that's not me. So I was like, I just closed my eyes for a split second, sat back, and I was like, oh, it's just, I was greeting you first, and I'm really sorry that I'm late. Traffic was really crazy, and, I tried to get to you as soon as I could. And he's like, well, you decided to drive in Midtown during this rush hour, or whatever he was saying. And he was like, that's foolish, or that's something of you. And I'm like,
exactly what I thought. He wanted to feel in control. This was never about her being late. This was about his superior complex. He was embarrassed. He was sitting there waiting on her to show up, and he did not like the fact that he had to wait. This is where the ego comes in. That man was sitting there thinking, how dare you? This was a 7 o'clock date, so I'm assuming that he probably have gotten there maybe about 6:50, 6:45 thereabouts, and then she's 23 minutes late on top of that. So it's not about her being late, it's more about how it made him look. He was embarrassed that he was sitting there alone for 23 minutes or more, give and take the time that he arrived. People probably walked by, the waiter probably came over more than once. Hey sir, is someone still joining you? And every bit of that made his ego bruise even more. And instead of saying, no problem, she's on her way, he internalized it. So by the time she walked in, he wasn't meeting her with excitement. He was meeting her with resentment. And that for me is where he messed up. Because he seemed to have forgotten the true meaning of a date. A date is supposed to be light, fun, filled with curiosity. You're getting to know somebody new. They're getting to know you. This is somebody you supposedly chose to spend time with, not somebody you're supposed to control or test. A real man knows that grace is attractive, kindness is strength, but when your confidence is fragile, any small inconvenience will feel like disrespect.
I didn't know. This is my first time driving into Midtown at this time. And he just gave me this nastiest attitude. He was just icing me out the whole time. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, he's really not feeling this, so I'm not going to waste my time. Because I don't feel like I have anything to say. I kept in communication with him the whole entire time. I let him know that, hey, I'm supposed to be parking, all that stuff, whatever. I let him know what was going on. But he was icing me out real bad. And I'm not in the business of like trying to turn a situation like that. I don't care how cute you are. I think that was just the rudest thing ever. And so I was just like, hey, I have to attend to my parking, so I actually cannot stay that long. So I gotta go tend to it. And he looked at me with the most bitchiest look I've ever seen in my life. And he said, good night. I was like, oh, okay. So I just got up and pranced right back to my car. And on the way there, I was feeling like, or on the way to my car, I was feeling like, freak, like, how am I feeling, right? Because this is actually the first date I've been on since 2019. It's the first date I've been on since 2019. And you know, guys don't approach me really. And lately the guys that have been approaching me have been like club promoters and all that stuff. So it hasn't been like the best feeling lately, because I wanted to jump back into dating, but I was telling, you know, some people, I was like, man, I'm too scared. I don't know if I could handle all of this, you know. I got out of a very abusive marriage. It was very toxic. My friends that were my ex's friends were absolutely horrendous to me. That's a whole nother story for another day. So I was really apprehensive. And like when this happened, I was just like, at first I was like, dang, I suck, don't I? I didn't even say sorry. But I was like, I didn't even get a chance to, you know? I didn't even know if it was him when I was walking in to the place. So I had to greet him first. So at least let me get a greeting in. Iced me the fuck out. Iced me out, okay? It was so cold, so mean.
Ooh, child, there is so much to unpack here. That entire date was a red flag. That man showed her exactly who he is: impatient, emotionally immature, and completely led by his ego. She did everything right. She communicated, she gave updates, and she still showed up. A secure man would have handled that with grace, maybe laughed it off, maybe even ordered a drink for her while he waited. But instead, he used silent treatment as punishment, and that is not having high standards. That is trying to be in control. And let's be real, this has nothing to do with his culture of him being Jamaican. This is really about ego management. His ego got bruised because he was waiting at a restaurant by himself for 23 minutes or even more. Honestly, sis did not lose a thing. If anything, she gained clarity. That 23 minutes of traffic was divine intervention. God delayed her long enough to let her see his character before she got attached. Because if a man can't handle a small delay with grace, imagine how he would handle life when it really tests him. After his silent treatment, asking if she's not gonna apologize was him trying to turn it into a power move, hoping that she would have then sought his approval. Girl, you didn't lose a thing, you learned something. As a matter of fact, you dodged a bullet. But y'all, tell me what you think. Would you have sat and eaten, or would you have turned around and left? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you're team her, let's go show this creator some love and support. I dropped her TikTok handle in the description below. Go follow her, watch her videos, and give her a thumbs up and a like. And because we're new friends, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because I'll be posting more real life reaction situations just like this straight from the 876. Bye for now, and catch you in the next one.